Welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be the first of many trimming videos because I do a lot of them on TikTok, but I can't make them very long. So I'm going to do a full-length video with this Muppet today. He is very fidgety, so this may not be as aesthetically pleasing as you would like, but I'm going to be trimming him. So Leo is a Welsh Section C gelding, so I'm going to trim him up to show you what a Section C looks like. Mr. Impatience. He's growing a little bit of a moustache there as well that we might have to get rid of. Right, Mr. Leo, let's get you going. Okay, so we're not doing brilliantly at the minute because Meg forgot to hit record, but I have just done his ears. So all I do is pinch them together and snip along the edges just to line them, just to make them look a bit cleaner. I don't take hair from inside the ear. I don't take any of that out, but I just trim along the edge of the ear, and I tend to just pinch together and get a nice clean line. He doesn't like his ears being done particularly, do you? But we're now going to do his jaw. So I've just got some of these cheap little trimmers. They're like dog trimmers really, from Amazon. I think you can get them on TikTok shop as well, but these came from Amazon. He's very itchy and agitated at the moment, aren't you? Yes. I think he thought he was going out, actually. Should we undo the nose? Oh, there, Mr. Leo. Right, these are a little bit louder. He's very scared, so I'm holding him as tight as I can. These clippers are very good, but just be warned that don't fall asleep. Hello. They don't like gypsy cob jaws, FYI. Tried and tested. So I just like to take the jaw hair off. I just don't think having a hairy jaw is just, it's my pet hate, isn't it, Meg? Just to make his face look a lot cleaner and sharper looking. Let's have your head up a bit. It doesn't like this bit. It says it's a little bit thick. I mean, they are meant for dogs. Boy. So something that I do like to do, we've just changed the halter. I don't know why I started trimming it in the head collar, because it can be a little bit annoying and you can just get in easier but still have control of them. So he has all these cat hairs, and a lot of ponies tend to have this in the winter. So just to clean that up, I'm just going to kind of trim the edges. I'm not going to properly clip him. I just want it to make it look flush again. It's just a way of just neatening them up just that tiny bit, and not making them look so scruffy, like the odd little chest hair there. I do it on all the ponies really. They all get these little cat hairs, and you can see here it's making him look very thick, so you just want to kind of clean that up a bit. Okay, so we have done his jaw, and I've just taken off the cat hairs just down his throat just to make him look a little tidier. So now your head is all done. So we're now going to tackle this monstrosity of a tail. It has grown out a lot at the top. It is very bushy, and it's got very long at the bottom and has lost its shape. So we're just going to rake the top of his tail. He hasn't got the biggest bum in the world anyway, and all this fluff is doing absolutely nothing for it. So I use a combination of two. I use either the solo rake or the smart grooming rake. I kind of flip between the two of them, to be honest. So he has already got a bit of a structure here from where he last had it done. So I just kind of take the rake, and you just need to start working down the sides, and it literally just rakes the tail off. Now, if you're doing it for the first time, to be perfectly honest with you, it's better that less is more. So don't take off too much, because you can always take more off, you cannot stick more back on. So I would start with the top of your towel first of all, and just start raking it. Now where you want to finish is kind of where their bum comes in, really. That's where you need it to cinch in, and the rest is going to fan back out. I kind of know where I'm going because I've done it before, but where they cinch in a little bit, that's where you want to go down to. So it's just a case of keep raking. Try not to take any from the middle unless it's horrendously thick. Just take from the sides. It's warming up now, isn't it? See, he likes this bit. He'll stand still for this bit. It's just anything near the head, he's like, nope. But he's a bit, look, he's just, oh, I quite, look at his face. So you can see we're now taking a nice bit of shape. I'm trying to leave the middle bit on as much as possible, but I have taken a bit of thickness out. And I'm going to come down to probably about here-ish, I should think, and then it can just kind of fan out from there. It just improves their back end so much. It really does. I mean, a lot of people would say, oh, it's not natural, but taking a pony into a ring isn't really natural, is it? So this is how you would do a C or a D tail. He is, I think I said at the beginning, he is a Welsh section C gelding. I'm probably going to use, because it's got down to a certain length now, I've got like this little blade thing that I'm going to use just to get the last little bits off. I think I'd just like it to just go in there, and then, you know, just needs a little bit more.
He likes it, don't he?
He does. He prefers this to, he's not going to like his mane. He always thinks I'm pulling his mane, but I'm just raking it. Right. I think that now just needs a little bit of a tidy up. So I'm just going to go and get another tool. I have this on my hands. Look how dirty his tail is. Yuck. So I have this. It's got like a little tiny blade. I don't know what it's called, but this is what I'm going to use. It's just to take off just these light little bits down here, just to smooth it out just that bit more, because it gets to the point where the rake will only go so far down, and then you have to start kind of manually getting the last bits off yourself. So it's just to kind of tidy that up. It's very sunny, and then the sun disappears, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can just get in that little bit more down the edges. Again, this is just kind of cutting the hair. It's not pulling it or ripping it out. Okay, we've tackled the top. The top is now done. We are nicely smoothed and cinched in. You can see how much this has made his bum look so much better. I've kept the length down the middle. I will probably bandage it. Will I bandage it? Maybe I will bandage it like 10 minutes before I go in. But I've taken it down to about here. You can see it cinches in, and then once I've done the bottom, which I haven't done yet, it's just going to fan out rather nicely. This is a thinning knife. I'm sorry, my hand is like disgustingly, he needs a bath. This is a thinning knife from Shire's. So we're now going to start making the shape of the bottom of the towel. So you want it in kind of like a little foxy V shape at the bottom. Now, like I said, he is a very small, compact pony, so I don't want a really long tail because it just won't balance him out right. So I probably have my outside pieces of his tail are my shortest, and then it goes into the longer pieces in the middle. So what I do is I take the outside piece of his tail. I want the shortest piece to sit at his hock. So I'll just take the knife and just start working my way down the tail. And then it doesn't give such a blunt look, and you have your first piece, which is the start of the structure of your tail. So we're starting to get a bit of a structure here. You can see there's a bit of a line going on. Now it is important to keep brushing through, because you're always going to get little straggly bits that you missed the first time. It's always good to keep brushing each time you go. I have now done the outside, so I know where I'm starting from and where I need to come into. So you can see we're now getting the structure. I just need to make it a little more crisp looking. I don't want it to look too straight, but I just want more of a defined V shape there. But you can see it is starting to take its shape now quite well. So this is where I just kind of make sure I'm brushing through a lot, keep measuring it up at the sides. So you want to keep kind of like making sure you are even at the sides, and like that is longer than that. Do you know what I mean? You need to keep checking that everything is the same length. We are at the point that we have a bit of a shape, so we've got the V shape that we want, but I do still have some long stragglers that I need to kind of tame a little bit. So it's just a case of keep brushing through, lining up, making sure that they match, taking a bit off if you need to, lining up, making sure they match, etc, etc. So I always kind of struggle a little more on this side than the other side. I don't know why. I think it's just easier to come down with the knife on that side than it is this side. It's just a little bit more awkward. But we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. He's the gassiest pony I know. Like, my microphone's going to stink now. I better not interview anybody with this microphone. Thanks, Leo. So I'm just checking underneath for any kind of stray hairs, because a lady called Sarah Butterworth told me that just make sure you trim all these stragglers, because if they flag, now hers always flags, Leo doesn't tend to in hand with me, but on the off chance he did, you just want it to look nice and clean down the bottom and nothing's kind of hanging down. Good boy. I think we're about done. I'm just gonna have another check. I think we're about done, aren't we? So we've now finished the tail. It does need a really good wash, but I've taken all the thickness out the sides and thinned it nice. There's a bit of thickness taken out of the middle, but I have left some length there just to make it, you know, cinched in down to here. And then you've got a nice fluffy V-shaped tail. Hopefully you can see it on the camera. See it on the camera?
Yeah, just about.
A nice fluffy V-shaped here, where we're shorter at the sides, going into a V shape there. And then when you hold it up as well, you can see it is a nice shape. You've not got any struggly hairs underneath as well. So for his mane, I'm going to use the thinning knife again, and I am going to use the rake again. We're going to keep it about as short as this bit is here, actually. Now, he hates his mane being done. I'm also going to take the forelock up about a quarter, so it's like 3/4 of the length, I think. But it's the same kind of gist. Now, he hates this. The same kind of gist, but I kind of brush it up and pull it down. He thinks I'm going to pull it. Stand still. Brush it up, pull it down. Brush it up, pull it down. So forelock wise, I took it to the length I wanted, and I've just raked the ends just so it now looks a little more natural, and you don't want like a blunt bowl cut looking. And then mane wise, I'm now just kind of, I've taken the length out that I want, and I now just need to take the thickness out by raking, which he's actually been really good about. He didn't really want me shortening it. He doesn't mind me raking it. It just takes the thickness out, and it'll make these ends a lot more natural looking again, because he had quite a lot of mane to come off, so I did take a little bit off with scissors, which I don't usually do. But they'll never know. They will never know. This is the best way you can take thickness out if you're not the sort of person that likes pulling a mane. I'm not really a mane puller personally. got very wavy mane, hasn't he?
Very wavy.
You can see it's starting to look a lot more.
And you always want to do it on the dirty mane, don't you?
Oh, all my trimming, apart from if I'm doing the top of Ariana's tail because it's clippers and you don't want to blunt them, always on a dirty mane, always on a dirty tail, because if it's clean, everything's just going to slide through it. Okay, mane is done. He hates me touching it. He thinks I'm going to pull it. Mane is done. It's much better now, much shorter. It needs to grow out a little bit just to look a little more natural for me, but it is fine for the weekend. So people ask how I decide what length to do a mane. It really depends what kind of top line they have. So if you come around this side, Meg, he has a fairly good top line at the moment. He has quite a good little crest. As it gets bigger, it will probably take a little bit of a longer mane. I think a pony that has a bit of a weak neck isn't so good with a long mane. So I take it a little bit shorter until it gets a little bit more cresty. But I just balance it out with the look of the pony, really. He is now finished. Finito! Finished!